What's up, everybody? Jack Farr here on behalf of Box to Box Football. Coming at you with a slightly different video today. A friend of mine recently was on a walk with a friend. This is several weeks ago, before the tighter restrictions were introduced. And he said, what do you think the worst starting 11 in the Premier League team is, but of players who actually play? So you can't just pick a third-string goalkeeper and a centre-back who never plays and a striker who's 16 and has never had minutes on the pitch. With the guys who actually play football matches, what's the actual worst starting 11 in the Premier League team? So without any further ado, I will get into it, but I will give you kind of the parameters I'm going on here. So there needs to be at least 10 starts for the football team, which means the manager has actually chosen them to start football games. And on top of that, they need to be still playing for those clubs. So not to have left in January or anything of that nature. So let's get started straight away. In at goal, I think you guys can probably see who I'm going to pick. I think he had 11 starts this year before being replaced. Matt Ryan at Brighton. Graham Potter said he's free to leave. He's no longer the first string goalkeeper there at Brighton, and for the Australian, things seem to be going down quite badly. He was certainly not playing his best football. At left back, Newcastle, Jamal Lewis. Now, he's only 22, and I do expect him to potentially get better, but it's not been brilliant from Jamal Lewis so far this year. He is my left back for the worst Premier League team 11 at the moment. Ajayi at West Brom, 27 years old. I believe it's a Nigerian international as well. Yeah, difficult for certainly a lot of these players, Sheffield United, West Bromwich Albion players to make their way out of this list. But he's certainly the type of player who I think you would probably want to put in a championship team if you were choosing it. Much the same with Egan, Sheffield United. It's very, very similar in that respect. Really a championship quality centre-back, and you know that Sheffield United team that did so well the year before, he was really not one of the stronger parts of that team at that point. Similarly to Bulldog, the right back at Sheffield United as well. That's who I have there. Left midfield, this one was tricky for me because I actually really like Genepo from Southampton. Felt like he was really making strides recently. I think he felt his hamstring go or had a slight injury. I can't quite remember, but I do actually have high hopes for him. But as of right now, the amount of playing time he's getting and his output in that pretty talented Southampton team is just not making the grade. I do expect him to improve and get better, but as of right now, my starting left midfielder is Genepo for Southampton. Two midfielders, got a double whammy of West Brom players, lots of West Brom players in this list, Sawyers and Jake Livermore. Yeah, just not high quality central midfield play here. They can do a job, tackle, pass the ball, relatively neat and tidy, but there's nothing special about their game, kind of jack of all trades, master of none, and even the jack of all trades, they're really not up to the standard of a Premier League player that you would expect there for Sawyers and Livermore as my midfield two. Right midfield, I've got Jeff Hendrick for Newcastle. Same again, it's kind of a player caught between multiple positions, and he's not really good enough to play either position outright, which is why I think you see him move from kind of a central midfield, attacking midfield, to a wide forward position as well. Solid player, but yet again, this is the Premier League. We really need the best of the best. If you're going to be fighting against the best right wingers in the league, playing for some of the better clubs, you do need to be a little bit better. Colin Grant, another West Bromwich Albion player, is going to be one of my two strikers. Yeah, just very poor quality. Baffles me that he really gets game time. He's not too much of a great player, and you would imagine that West Brom, even in their youth academy, would have a slightly more dynamic player to offer something a little bit different for Big Sam going forward. And this one kind of hurts my heart a little bit. I do have the West Ham Burnley game going on in the background here. Ashley Barnes for Burnley. I actually really like Ashley Barnes. I think he is a good player, but I wonder if he's a little bit past it in terms of his efficacy. And obviously in this struggling Burnley team, it does stand out a little more. I do think with more service, he is one of the better players. But looking at some of the other attacking options in this position, I do think they are better. So to finish off my starting 11, I'm going to go with Ashley Barnes for Burnley as my other striker. So Matt Ryan in at goal. Back four of Lewis, Ajayi, Egan and Baldock. Midfield four of Genepo from Southampton, Sawyers and Livermore from West Brom. Jeff Hendrick at Newcastle, Colin Grant and Harvey Barnes. That would be quite something. Ashley Barnes are my two strikers up top in this 4-4-2. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Quick video, silly video, I know. Let me know if I've missed anybody out. Players with at least 10 appearances, starts in the Premier League, who could potentially make this starting 11. Let me know if there's anybody I'm missing out, anybody who you think should be in here. I did try and consider some players from some of the better teams, the Mohamed El Nenis of the world, these kinds of players. But to be honest with you, if you gave me the choice between El Neni, Sawyers or Livermore, I would probably still take Mohamed El Neni. Just an example, not trying to hate on him, Arsenal fans. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. This is the worst starting 11 for the Premier League. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like I say, give me a shout in the comments if you think I've gotten any wrong here. And failing that, we'll see you next time.